Welcome, everyone, to the NEKO-ALPHA show, bringing you Japan-related alpha and more from the United NEKO Alliance here in our Tokyo-based super secret headquarters. I'm Reno. I'm here with my partners, Steve and Neil.
Hey, guys. Great to be here again.
Hey, what's up?
It's hot. So we are your hosts, and please remember, this is never financial advice. Do your own research. This is commentary, info sharing, entertainment, and such. So, gentlemen, let's get this boat on the water. Neil, what's our alpha this week?
Yeah, what a week. I think it was a historic week in NFTs, both globally and for Japan. Of course, like globally, we saw Moonbirds just do what their name says and just totally redefine the NFT market. But here in Japan, we were not sleeping either. Let me jump into things here. So we're going to start off with Murakami Flowers. So Murakami Flowers has suddenly went into public mint on the 18th. There was a newsletter that went out on the 18th saying, sorry, everything's taken so long. It's going to take a while still to get everything done. And then at virtually the same exact time, another letter went out to all the people that won the spot in the raffle for the public mint. And so there was, as reported before, there was something like 5 million entries, and it seems that they didn't do really any filtering. They just did the math on that. And so some people, I've heard reports of one account that had, or not one account, because obviously that person ran a bot and used tons of accounts, but they ended up with 250 Murakami Flowers. So a lot of people not very happy about that. And the other thing is a lot of scams going on. So here's Takashi's official Twitter, Takashi Palm, but there's no official Twitter for the project. So, he said here, he hasn't tweeted very much. I mean, he's had one tweet in the past several days. It says, please beware, the only official site for AMF project is Murakami Flowers, kaikaikiki.com. The kaikaikiki, there's that, it's a Japanese name for his gallery and company, but very difficult, I think, for a lot of people overseas and very easy to put in all kinds of scam variations. But also on the Twitter, like things like this, like look at this, Murakami Flowers official. If you look at the 670 followers, you're going to know it's not official. But it's easy to sort of like fall for that stuff for so many people because they retweet a whole bunch of like Murakami's stuff, so it kind of looks official. And then of course there's a fake mint address here. So and there's tons of these. So everybody, be really super careful. If you do get the spot, make sure you're going to the right link. That is only the one that you signed up for to register is the only website that will do the minting. See what else can we say about that. So Murakami, he's getting ready. He's going to be in New York for a gallery show in the beginning of May. So that's where his head's at. He's here. He's introducing a piece that I think Artifact Studios helped to get this sculpture. It is a pretty awesome piece. Look at this. And in his newsletter, he said he's so sorry that it's being difficult and that people are getting scammed and all that. So, I mean, he's a very earnest guy, but you got to, make sure your team is up to it and can handle this. Like, here's his official project Instagram, and then he's showing that they're number 2 after Moonbirds, but then just a ton of comments, about 80% of it basically people not happy about how the launch is going. Of course, many of them are probably just disappointed they didn't win the raffle, but still about 80% kind of negative, 20% supportive. And here's the project. The project is now at 9,469 have been minted. And it's interesting. So the total number that's going to be, so there's 11,664 total, but he's holding back 727 that after the public, the reveal and everything, he's going to do something with 727. We don't know what, but that's happening right away. Then he's holding back another 78, another 108 that will happen at some later date to be TBD. But the upshot of this is that there's still about 1,280 unclaimed, and it's ending today. So if you did apply, then there's still a chance, because they're going to have to do another run through on the raffle to finish this public mint. There's about 1,280 left. So keep an eye out for an email from Murakami Flowers. Make absolutely sure that any links in there only go to the official site. Anything else is a scam, but there still are chances to win. So definitely keep an eye on your email. Here's the mint site. So yeah, that's the total amount minting. And as I said, about 1,200 still to go. Okay, so moving on. Number 2 on the NFT ranking Japan this week is Shinsei Galverse, who had an amazing successful mint. So last week we were just talking about the mint starting, and it minted very quickly. It revealed 24 hours after the mint. It's done pretty well after the mint. There was a pump and then a little dip, but it's holding at around what have we got here? 0.489, which is pretty good. And volume, 4.5K volume trade. It's great to see these kind of numbers on the in our top ranking items here, and I think we're going to see more of that. We're going to see much more of that as things move forward. So notice conspicuously absent from the top here is Kiwami. Kiwami, of course, they did 192 in volume in the last week, 192 ETH. So they really should be number 3. We're talking directly to NFT Ranking Japan about rectifying that. And we're also talking to Kiwami about doing an interview. We hope to have an exclusive interview that we can bring you very soon. And moving forward, we will be including in-depth interviews with top Japan projects. So we're arranging now with Neo Tokyo Punks, and should have that interview for you hopefully early May. And we also seem to have a lot of mutual connections with Galverse, and we're reaching out to them as well. So stay tuned on that. I think we're going to have some pretty exciting in-depth interviews coming up. So moving on, the next one I want to talk about is coming in at number 6 here, Naoki Stamp Collection. So this small collection here is it looks like a bunch of editions. So there's 54 items and 238 owners, and this has actually been out for a while, and it recently started pumping. It turns out that this is by Naoki Saito, who is famous for being one of the designers on Pokemon cards, which is amazing, and tons of other stuff too. Recently, he's one of this well-known show in Japan, Uma Musume. That's also, he's in there, and he runs a YouTube channel, the Naoki Saito Illustration channel, with almost 1 million subscribers. And he's got a lot. So he speaks in Japanese, but it's got subtitles. So he's got a ton of, almost all the comments are in English. So he's got a ton of followers around the world that love the way he goes over some of his famous characters. It just makes it look so easy. The way he just goes, yeah, this is how you make a and I mean, but I think he's really got a lot of fans here. And he recently announced that he's putting together a 10K PFP, and they just opened their Discord. This is brand new in the last several days, so it's still time to jump in here. They still haven't got the whitelist sorted, so I would get in there. This is going to be really cool. Here's the website for that. It just says Megami coming soon, so definitely I think you want to be jumping in that one. And okay, finally, I just want to go to this little project here. This is a small collection by Shio at NFT, Shio NFT. So here he says, Japan has an old-fashioned calendar that gives you a detailed sense of the season. So anybody who's ever lived in Japan will know that the seasons here, the 4 basic seasons here, come like clockwork, like within, every year, within days of when they're supposed to arrive. It's just amazing. But a lot of people don't realize that the 4 seasons are subdivided further into more seasons and subdivided again for a total of 72 seasons. And Shio NFT here has started to put together a collection of all the 72 seasons. And I think the art's really clean, and I just like it. So I thought I'd just feature this small collection this week. And that's about it for the alpha this week.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. Quick, to the point, and good. Awesome.
Yeah, so let's wind up with some discussion on United Neko Alliance. And, as we mentioned at the beginning about Moonbirds, there's been really a lot of talk recently about how utility is back. And we thought we'd touch on that a little bit this week, because that's something for us that never went away. Our whole project has always been about utility. Wouldn't you say so, guys?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, for us, the project has always been about utility. It's been about how we can help to develop the communication between Japan and the rest of the world. There's so many people around the world who are interested in the culture, want to learn more about it, want to participate. And our vision has been, we can be the Web3 bridge and the Web3 utility for bringing Japan culture and bringing people to the culture. So, for example, we're working with we've been talking to a lot of artists and creators here in Japan. We feel like we can help them to communicate what they're doing around the world. Not only in independent artists and one-of-one artists, but also collections. There's so many new things happening. So I think we can be a kind of a bridge to help that communication. Also, there's so many people who are still not into the NFT space, who still don't collect, still don't know what's happening, but they're so interested in the culture. I think those people will eventually find the NFT space and will eventually connect with some of the art that's happening here. So if we can be, in this space and be helping communicate with those artists, I think the people who eventually find us will find this project and use it as a tool to get involved.
Yeah, you mentioned, bridging. Bridging's kind of the key word, but of course it's also a little bit, so what does that mean? So I think, on the one hand, we, based on our backgrounds individually and what, we came together with, really our ideas really meshed, and we feel like we've got a really solid idea of what we want to accomplish, the broad strokes of that. But in this space, everybody knows you shouldn't be like throwing out like a detailed roadmap of all this shit you're going to promise and may or may not deliver, right? So we really have like, on the one hand, we have like a crystal clear idea, and we're really aligned on the same page of what we want to accomplish. But when it comes, how we communicate that, I guess we have to admit we're like struggling a little bit with how we want to commit that, or how we want to communicate that to the world, even though we're supposed to be part of our mission is helping everyone communicate. But I mean, if you think about it, the whole space is so new, right? And this, where NFTs are going from week to week, shifts so much. So, I mean, I think that's why we started the spaces. That's why we started the NEKO-ALPHA show, to really sort of like, sort of put some substance to the direction there. But and that's definitely, I mean, we just see that really, I mean, it's been amazing seeing so many Japanese creators participating in the spaces and, stepping up to the stage to try to, say what they're doing, and I'm being able to help with that. It's just been awesome, and working with NFT Japan on that is incredible. But I mean, I think that's we're going to see that evolve, and where we can go with that, and how we can sort of help artists and projects. I think it's just we really haven't seen even the tip of the iceberg on that. It's just going to be so cool.
Totally agree with both of you guys, and to your point, Neil, about still getting our heads around exactly how we're going to execute these things that we want to do. One of the great things about the spaces and getting more actively involved with the artists and these sort of collectives, these groups that are helping to promote them, is it gives us an opportunity to learn from them and get feedback from them, so that we're not just dictating from our team, okay, this is what we think is needed for the Japanese community, but instead we're having a really nice interaction and a really nice sort of mix of opinions and ideas about how this can be done. So it is really, I mean, I know it's maybe it's a little cliche to say at this point in this broader space, but it is a real nice community that's sort of solidifying with lots of good ideas, and we're excited to do everything in our power to execute those ideas and really keep the community growing. Absolutely.
The clearest way we can state it is what, who we're trying to reach is the people who love Japan and the people who love, Web3 NFTs, right? If you think of those two circles and where they intersect, if you're in that intersection, then you are our target. And, if you join this community, I just think what we can do together is just going to be incredible.
Totally. And, there's a number I like to throw out all the time. We think about before the pandemic in 2019, well over 30 million people traveled to Japan just as tourists. And clearly that doesn't represent the entire number of people who are interested in Japan. So we know there's a massive community out there around the world that wants to be dialed in, that wants to be connected. And using Web3 tools and this sort of, community first approach that we're taking, I think you're right. Like it's really just the start. Like it's going to go large. It's going to go loud.
Yeah. And to put that number into perspective, right? So 30 million in, I guess, what was that? Like, what was the last normal year we had? That was 2019, right?
Right.
And the projections were to take that to like 40 million, 50 million in a few years. And that started from the all-time high before 2010 was about 9 million. And then when we had the disaster in 2011, it dropped down to 7 million. And then there was a real effort to sort of like, let's bring people back to Japan. And that's when things really started taking off. We hit the 10 million, we hit the 12 million, 15 million, 20 million, and then 30. And it was just what was happening was just growing and growing. And then zero. That's where we've been for 2 years, like zero, literally zero, because no one's allowed in Japan on a tourist visa. So that's going to come back, but there's in the meantime, like so much has changed, like the pandemic, like what we're all doing in terms of remote working, and then the whole Web3 scene arriving. So when the people start coming back to Japan, and when we start doing things, it's now a new world. We can do these virtual events we couldn't do before and we when we get people here, we're going to be the whole what's possible in the whole tourism industry and events locally and everything. That's all changed too, and that's part of like our collectively our experience in sort of delivering stuff both on the content creation side and on the technology side. We have real stuff that we've already worked on that some location based stuff tying into Web3 that we're my company is announcing soon. It's there's so much that this is going to tie in with our project. I think we're going to be doing some very groundbreaking, not just for Japan, but actually I think globally, which is what we want to see, right? We want to see the community here, the Web3 community here, coming into its own, but not just sort of like, okay, Japan's also a player, but we want to work with some of the creativity and innovation here and show that we're also leaders.
100%, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a unique moment in time with Web3 and with the reopening of Japan. It's not only going to be physical tourism, but it's going to be virtual. And I think we're in a unique space here to help facilitate that.
Yeah, word to that. All right, that's going to wrap us up for the day. As we mentioned, check out our spaces as well. Every Tuesday, we run Tuesday morning in Japan, evening time in the US. And so check that out on Twitter. Subscribe there, follow us there. And for that, big shout outs again to NFT Japan. Sophie and that team have been great collaborators on that. And then also Hope-san, who we're working with on translation. We also hear a little bit about his project from time to time as well. That is great. And then I guess the last few plugs we have is, of course, this show. Do whatever you want to make that like button happen, whether you want to squish it or crush it or do something to it. And subscribe, give us a subscribe. We'll come back every Thursday in Japan and Friday morning-ish overseas with a new episode. And check us out on Discord. Definitely jump in there, join the conversation. We're also on Instagram if that's how you roll. So I think that's everything, right, guys?
Yep. Just want to say one quick thing on the spaces. We talk about some of the alpha every week and some some of the big projects that are happening, but in our spaces we have a lot of great artists and creators who talk about their projects, and we have a great discussion. So even if you can't make it and you can't listen live, go ahead and listen to the recording. It's worth your time to hear what's going on here.
Definitely. And it's like, for this show, we're planning out what we want to talk about and keeping it as fresh as possible. But sometimes on spaces, it's like live action alpha. We're never sure who's going to pop in and introduce a new project that could really pop. So check it out. And with that, for my hosts, Neil and Steve, that is the show for today. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.
See you next time, everyone.
See you next time.